What up? What up? This is Mike, the philosopher, along with Rochelle. How,
Hey again.
yeah, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, now this is for the reunion of Ready to Love, and it
Yes.
was it was something to talk about,
Part
definitely.
one, season five. Yes.
Yep, yep. So, let me let you go ahead and get started, and kind of give me your take on what you seen in a reunion.
Okay. So first, of course, everyone is back with the exception of Shiloh.
Right.
Um, so I can't say I was surprised that she wasn't there. Um, I think she had just probably had enough. So
Right, right.
everyone was there with the exception of Shiloh. And they kind of jumped right in with Sydney and Sean, who were the
Mm,
two add-ons for the season. Um, and they opened up with Sean and kind of gave his little preview of when he first came on the show and all of that. Um, and I loved just that they opened up with him and he kind
uh-huh.
of gave his explanation of how he felt, how his journey was. Um, and that when they eliminated him, how he said hallelujah. And his reason was, he felt pressured to try to force something that might not be there.
but
And
you but
he,
you're on the show, bro. Like
right.
you
But I think, you know what? When they are prepping people for these shows, I think they might say different things to get them to finally okay to it.
mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know, but I like that he mentioned that, for him, it was not about picking someone so that he could stay until the end. He was legit trying to find love, I guess. But
Right, right.
um, so they kind of started with him.
Well,
And
let me
then
ask you this real before you go on.
yeah.
What did what his explanation, did that change your mind about him at all?
I still would say that Sean needs some work with his communication. I think his heart is in the right place. I think he is legitimately looking for love and that he's serious in his pursuit of that. But I still think that he needs a little bit of work, as we all do.
He
So
do you think he want love to find him instead of him finding love?
So I don't know much about his approach. I think
Mm-hmm.
with him, he would be a guy okay with a woman like pursuing him and calling him and doing all those things that men traditionally do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and I think he might be one of those guys who's just not about putting a lot of effort into it if it's not going to come easy for
Got
him.
got you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does give that kind of vibe.
So you didn't really change much about what you thought about him.
No,
Um,
no,
yeah,
I just thought, they opened up with him and just were kind of let's get him out the way, let him say his little bit
he kind of comes off as a guy who does need an aggressive woman. Kind of want love to find him instead of him finding love. I think he got so many insecurities that it's hard for him to go out there and get his woman. You know what I mean?
right.
I think he needs a woman to kind of push the issue along, and then it just make it easier for him, and that'll kind of get rid of some of his insecurities if he knows that she's into him.
Right. And
So I mean, I wish the brother the best. He need to holler at the sea and stop playing. Um,
yeah,
but
because she fits that personality.
she does fit that personality. She was. I get into her a little later, but go ahead.
Yeah. So they opened up with him with Sean, kind of got him out the way. And then I'll go ahead and move to Tyrone. And
Okay.
this is what I will say. And even with Sean, Tyrone, and I guess pretty much everybody, going through the process of the show, I think that people will be in situations where they might do and say things that they wouldn't normally do. but you got the cameras, you got the cast, you got the producers. And so I think with Sean and also Tyrone, that they did a lot of misspeaking, saying things that they
Mm,
really, wish they could have changed their delivery.
right,
Um,
right.
what I like about Tyrone is that he got the opportunity to correct what
Mm-hmm.
he said in his delivery to Carrie. So um, I it definitely, for me, it did change my mindset on Tyrone. Not so much Sean, um, but when he did correct his what he was going to say to Carrie,
Uh-huh.
and saying to her, there's nothing negative about you. I just have a stronger connection with someone else that I want to pursue. Like
Mm-hmm.
who can't accept that, right?
Right, right.
Um, so I definitely think that he got a chance to redeem himself. And I put myself in that situation. If I was in their shoes going through this show, I'm sure I would say 100 different things that I would later regret. And then I would have to come back on the reunion and say, you know what I was really thinking, or the way I really wanted to say it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who would like to do that. I'm sure Zadia probably would like to go back in time and change some things. I
Yeah.
know I know Camille do, because she don't even know what she be saying. So
I,
I get into her later, because they call her on tape
yeah.
with some saying some stuff.
Oh my gosh. The footage
Yeah,
of that all.
yeah, they call her, but she still denied it. But we'll
Crazy.
get to her. But yeah,
We'll get to
yeah,
her.
Tyrone is a good dude though. Like I was telling you earlier, I seen him on another show, and I seen some of the real Tyrone come out, and
Yeah. I was
and
so impressed with him on the reunion.
yeah, and he was saying that some people were saying he was a abuser, a stalker, and he was like, where's all this coming from? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I guess because of how he looks. I mean, he got the beady eyes.
Right.
So a lot of people just assume, and plus he was in the military, had PTSD and stuff
All
like
of that.
that. So people just jump to conclusions
Right.
about his personality and how he moved,
Right.
and that wasn't fair to
It
him.
wasn't fair at all.
Yeah. So
It wasn't fair at all.
shout out to Tyrone. Yeah. So
Yeah, I was
you know,
definitely more impressed with him after the reunion.
yeah.
Um, and then I also like when they had the conversation about when the word aggressive is used with Black women.
Yeah.
And it is, like the host said, it is a very charged word. But I liked how she said that they gave a great demonstration of how to talk through it,
Mhm.
and not having either person fly off the handle or.
But the strange part about that is the women were calling each other that. Like
Mhm.
Courtney is the one who said that to Camille, or was it
Right.
Camille, or it was one of them? But Courtney
Courtney.
rung that word. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that word aggressive is
And I
unfairly
think it's one of
tagged
those
with the
things
ladies.
where it's okay if we say it to each other, but if anyone else,
Oh, it's like the
I
N
think it kind
word,
of
huh?
falls in. It's like the N word. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, but the
We can
men
say
can't
it to
men
each
can't say
other.
that.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. It's,
Wow.
it's it's taken a little differently.
Oh,
It's taken
okay.
a little differently. Um, but I did like how they addressed that, and that Tyrone got to redeem himself all around.
Hmm.
Um, and then I things just went left. Like I know the next segment was supposed to be dedicated to Cornelius and
Hmm.
him kind of having his say, but that just went way left. I will say nothing about what I thought about Cornelius when I gave him a 0. I think before
Hmm. Hmm.
he's still very much a 0.
Wow.
I thought, my hope and prayer was that by the reunion, he would have had some time to kind of look back and see and have people speak into his life and then come. No,
No,
um, no,
she
no.
really got that mind control over your boy.
Oh
She
my
just like,
pin
I
pick.
mean, it's funny. I seen some people on the internet trolling him, and they got that Get Out guy, and
Yeah,
he's sitting in the chair, and his mouth
that's
is open.
perfect.
They got corn
That
face
is
there. I mean, he's
perfect for
just,
him.
yeah, he is in a sunken place, as they call it.
Yes.
So
But and I guess my hope and desire is that there's other men maybe possibly in this situation and can look at him and maybe see themselves and do something differently. But Cornelius, I've never in my life seen a man who is such a little boy inside,
right.
so afraid to speak up for himself at this level that
Hmm.
Cornelius is. So it's actually disturbing, it's scary. um
Yeah, I think that has something to do, and I'm just kind of I'm all this episode I'm gonna be putting on my pseudo psychiatrist hat.
yes,
Okay. Okay. Now I think that because I'm gonna do that with a couple other people too.
yes,
But with Corn, I wonder how he was raised. I wonder how his mother was, because he seems like a mama's boy, and
for
he
sure.
seems like he needs that mama guidance. And it seems like that's what Camille is giving him, is that mama
Mhm.
guidance to practically think for him, and
Oh, definitely.
he just acts out whatever
She
she
said,
says.
yes,
Yeah. So, and he probably did that with his mother, and is now he just fell into that habit of
right,
get a domineering woman and let her run it, and I'll just fall back and
right,
observe or take orders or whatever the case may
yeah.
be.
And I think like I said, it's, and I'll put on my pseudo psychiatry hat as
There you
well,
go.
psychology hat. I think it's when the norm for you is to live in the absence of your truth and walking in your truth. When that's your norm,
Uh-huh.
then he's more comfortable at being told what to do and following somebody else's. Because even when there was a time for him to speak, like they asked him a direct question. I think Sabrina had said she felt like he had regrets about not making connections with other women, which
Mm.
he said when he got eliminated. He said, I do regret not making connections with other women. He said that.
Mm.
But when they talked to him on the reunion, when they came to him, he was like, no, regret. Like, did you see how he just started stuttering? He couldn't get a sentence out. He was like, no, it was because for me, it's the faith. And I was just like, bless his
It
heart.
feels, yeah, it feels to me like some of his answers were rehearsed, and he was just he was kind of ready for how they was going to come at him, so he had lines already rehearsed, and he just
Yeah.
said whatever Camille told him to say,
Right,
most
right.
likely. But the dude is, you know is you hate to see somebody just kind of being taken advantage of like that. But like I said before, if they happy, let them be happy.
Let him be happy.
um you know but if something go wrong, we can't say he hasn't been warned. He's been warned a million times,
Yes.
and it just is what it is. Now he might not see the results of that until maybe a little while later, when Camille pretty much got all her claws into him. But I hate to see that to the guy. He seemed like he's a good guy. He just seems like
Definitely.
he is a puppet, pretty much, that's being
Right.
controlled,
And
and that's not very respectable by
right.
men or
And
women. So
the sad but true fact is that what's going to happen is over time, if it hasn't already started, which it probably has already started, she is going to lose respect for him. And
yeah,
I think the way that she was talking to him, even before, he got eliminated, when she was like, you around here acting like an old country bumpkin.
yeah. They was
And they were
tripping when
like,
they
that's
seen
so
that.
disrespectful. She's already lost respect for him. And over time, she's going to get tired of this little cowardly man
Be-
and
because
going to
she
move around and do something different.
Yeah, because she said she left like 3 marriages. Like she's used to, and her friend said, you get bored with men,
You get
you know
bored with men. Yeah.
and you don't stick around. This is not going to look. This is only for TV, and maybe if she can get something else out of it. But after that,
Definitely.
she's gonna be done with him. He ain't
Yeah.
gonna be nothing more special than the other guys that she was with,
That's
and
it.
she's gonna get bored with him and dump him, and then he gonna be crying on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and ain't nobody gonna
Hopefully.
be surprised but him at
Right.
that point.
So my prayer for both of them, very misguided people, is that, they learn from this and they grow and they can do better. But right now where they are is it's just sad. It's just sad.
It is a I would call it a codependency. I'm not sure if it's healthy or not, but I will say it's an unhealthy codependency they got
Yeah.
on each other
Yeah,
because she
definitely.
needs a puppet and he needs a master. So,
Right.
you know, uh,
Yeah. So that is them.
yeah,
Um, and then I want to go back a little bit and talk a little bit about Phil. They didn't feature Phil much, wasn't much to say, but I will say that I think that Phil and Sydney are very genuinely happy with each other.
uh-huh.
Um, because at the end I was like, I don't know, it could work, but I think they are very solid. I think they genuinely like each other. They have a
Mm-hmm.
connection, and I
Mm-hmm.
could see them kind of moving forward. So Phil is still back up in the ranks.
Yeah,
Back up
yeah,
in the
yeah,
ranks.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Phyllis,
Good guy.
Phyllis, Phyllis high up. Sydney is high up on
Sydney's
our
high.
list. Yeah.
Absolutely. So though they're looking really good. Um, and then okay, so Frank and Naeem. Oh my God.
Let's start with Frank first.
I would Frank.
And this is where I'm gonna put some of the pseudo, psychiatrists
Yes,
at my hat
please
on.
do.
But I want you to go ahead and go in. What first of all, what are your thoughts on me? I mean, oh no, you're doing the minute. What are your thoughts of Frank,
Frank.
as far as how he moved?
F boy. Fraud.
Wow.
A
Wow.
coward.
Yeah.
Selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Uh yeah. Frank is all about Frank. And I kept saying, like, there's something about him. Like, I
You
just
did say
don't
that.
see, it's something about. And then towards the end, I was like, well, maybe, okay, well, maybe he is. But no, I was right.
The
I was
instincts was
right
right, huh?
from the jump. He is not ready. He is all
Mm,
about appearances. I think
mm,
he literally came on the show just to be on television so he could
mm.
shimmy his shoulders.
Right,
Um,
right.
yeah, I was extremely disappointed in him. And he didn't even seem like his normal self, his norm, like the way he kind of moved throughout the show. And
Mm-hmm.
he just seemed like just this, I don't know, broken little exposed man. So
Just kind of disconnected. He was just like,
extremely
yeah,
disconnected.
because he was like, Mommy, just go ahead, tell him, don't hold back, just go and tell him.
Right. And
And,
when he didn't even, it's like you had all this time to come on here to be able to give some kind of explanation.
mm-hmm.
And he was saying things like, the way we held hands just didn't feel right. What?
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
so Frank was a fraud from the beginning. And I loved how I think it was Courtney who was just like, bruh, just be honest, just tell the truth. Like,
Right, right, right.
and I think the same thing would have happened if he would have been with Sydney. Because it wasn't the women, it was him. He was
Mm-hmm.
not ready. He did not want this. This was some kind of opportunity for him. He's an opportunist, is what he is.
Okay. I'm wondering if I should go into it now, but I think I'm gonna wait.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna wait because I got some things to say about both of them actually.
Okay.
I sat back and I thought about the whole scenario
Okay.
and I kind of reevaluated where I'm coming from
Okay.
or what's going on there. So I could be wrong or whatever, but now that I look at it differently from a different angle, I see some things. So I'll talk about that a little later, but we can get
Okay.
into Naim. What's up with Naim?
Oh my God. Okay, so Naim was the person I was most completely and utterly shocked by.
Mm.
Um, but I now see why him and Zadia are matched together. They're the same person.
Yeah, because when Naim left, you had him high. You had him what, a 9 or something like that.
Yes.
You say he self-eliminated himself, and he found his love and all that.
He was true to himself, and he said, "This is the woman I want. She leaving, then I'm leaving." I had
Yeah,
absolutely,
you admired that.
I
So
did. I did. I felt like he left for the wrong one because I was like, that ain't the one to be doing that with.
All
But
right.
y'all are the same person with the same brain. So I get why he did that.
Mm-hmm.
He is just as ignorant,
Mm.
as Zadia.
Wow.
Um, when he was trying to explain why the women were so upset with Zadia and basically trying to say that they were all jealous of her,
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, oh wow, like he doesn't get it on a whole like he doesn't get it on several levels.
Right.
Um, and then but I and it's almost like
And
okay,
Sydney was like, "Can somebody check him? Why don't one of you men check him?"
check
That
him,
was,
give him a peep.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and I mean, I think everybody was just so taken aback. I did like what Carrie said. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's beautiful and men chose her. And the fact of the matter of, yes, they chose her maybe day one, deliberation two. But after they got to know her, she fell down on everybody's list.
Yeah.
She
I
fell down on
mean,
everybody's list.
let's keep it a buck. Naeem was the only one checking for her at the end of the day.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't know why anybody didn't say that. That's because
Yeah.
that's what I was yelling at the TV. Like, yeah, they saw
Not
her.
like, yeah, yeah. They they
They
they
thought
might
she
have
was
been
pretty. Then
physically
she
attracted
opened
to
up
her.
her
Yeah,
mouth and they
exactly.
were like,
And
oh,
then,
heck no.
yeah,
And they were
exactly.
even telling him, like, dude, are you sure you want to do this?
Right,
So,
right, right.
um, yeah,
You remember I told you some guys got that blind spot? Corn and Naeem, they got that
naive.
blind spot.
Yeah.
I knew they were still going to be with them women during this reunion, because I remember you asking me, you think they're going to still be together? I said, yeah, because they got that blind spot. They don't, these women and how they come, these guys don't really, they're blinded by something. Maybe it's the
Okay.
ladies' looks. Now, they're both beautiful women, you know what I mean? Camille and Zadia. But that must be all what the guys are looking at.
Oh,
You know what I
wow.
mean?
Now that's just even more disturbing.
Yeah.
That in your
Yeah.
30s and 40s, you're still just caught up on a woman's physical looks and will ignore attitude and character. And if that's the case, that's even more sad. But I don't even know if it's that they're blinded to it. I think they can relate. And that was something that Naeem said. He said, I can relate to how Zadia acts because I used to act like that. No, you still
You
act like
still
that.
do that. You
Y'all are
still
the
do.
same.
I don't
I was
take him
like,
as a bad boy though. Like I'm like, I see that I see bad girl in Zadia, because I see she pick fights and stuff. I think he's, maybe he was like that. I don't know what his past was, but it
okay,
seems like it seemed like he was reformed from that, because he didn't necessarily bring that on the show. I mean, even at
right,
the end of the show, you gave him high marks.
right,
So it was something. Now they must have spent more time together, and now she's rubbing off on him.
right.
And she was probably, before the show, telling him, look, get my back. If anybody say something about me, hold me
And
down.
that's what I was gonna say too. Either he is just as ignorant as she is, or it's like he's just he loyalty to a fault.
Right,
Like she
right,
is dead wrong, but I'm still gonna go out here and support her any way I can, even if I have to say things like y'all were all jealous of her.
right, right.
And like that's not the case at all. Um, so yeah, Naeem definitely dropped down
Mm,
tremendously.
mm,
Uh, there was no movement with Corn. Frank dropped. Tyrone rose back up, and then Naeem
mm,
dropped down. And the other
mm.
guys, they really didn't get into, their experiences.
Yeah, I didn't see anything with Walter. Did you?
No,
No.
nothing with
Not much
Walter.
Phil, not much Walter.
Mm-mm.
Not who
Not much
else?
Corey, which they
Corey,
showed
which,
him.
yeah, which they're gonna get into next.
They're gonna get into him part two.
Yeah, I got a suspicion about what that's about too.
Okay.
Um
I'm anxious to know your thoughts about Frank.
okay, so you pretty much done with the guys, right?
Hmm.
All right, so let me run it down. Let's start with Frank. Ladies, you're not gonna like me because I don't blame Frank at all. And
Okay.
let me tell you why. Moming, she has nothing to offer a man. Nothing to offer a man.
What are you talking about?
She's celibate, okay? She wants a man to fit in her world. She wants the man to go to her church. She wants a man to do, like she said, look, if you're going to choose me, make sure you sit with it, because you're going to have to do this, that, and the third. So Frank, and when Frank said, holding her hand didn't feel right, Moming is not a very affectionate woman. You can kind of tell that just by looking at her. You can kind of tell that by how she moves. You could tell that by, she's already celibate. She has connection and intimacy. Looks like she has those issues.
Okay.
Frank is a very overcharged, sexual brother. He probably got a dozen chicks in his phone right now he can call and get the job done.
Okay.
Moming, she's nice, but she doesn't have nothing to offer a man. This is what I think about Moming. Moming, she is shopping for a husband. She wants a man. She picks a man off the rack. She tries him on. He has to fit every situation with her. He has to fit in her life. And if she don't like you, she will take you off the rack, put you back on, and walk away, because we know she's the walk away queen.
Mm-hmm.
So she is shopping for a husband, and she is wanting a man to bring everything to her, but she is not giving anything to him. This is why Frank is kind of shading Moming. Even when he said, you said when they hold hands, it don't feel right or something.
Mm-hmm.
That he knows this is going to be a dead end. He knows it's going to be a dead end with her. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that Moming is a bad woman. She's not. But you gotta look at it like this from a guy's perspective. You got a overbearing family. The African, her father is already telling you don't waste her time.
And he did.
You got a woman who is not intimate at all or affectionate. She seemed like she could be, but she doesn't seem that way with Frank. Okay. You got a woman who has all these demands, wants you to fit in, you're gonna go to church with me on this day, or you're gonna do this with me, or you're gonna do that. And she has it set in her mind what she wants out of a man, but what she left out is what she's going to offer a man. Moming needs an arranged marriage. She needs to go back to Ghana, and she needs to get a Ghanaian man, and it needs to be arranged, and he needs to marry her right there on the spot. It cannot be in America, because American men don't move the way that she wants them to move. This is not the culture for a Moming. Okay. And that is why Frank pretty much ghosted her, because he wanted to get to the end. Now, that part Frank was very fake on. Okay. He was very fake on that because he wasn't honest with that. Now, let me tell you about Frank. Frank, he was actually checking for Sydney. Okay. But he hitched his wagon to Moming out of default. Like I told you before, they wasn't checking for each other day one. Exactly. They were like each other's third and fourth choice. Right. Okay. Both of them. So, but he wasn't honest with her. He wasn't honest with her about what he wanted and what he was looking for in a woman. And he ended up like, he just wanted to get to the end of the season, which it seemed like to me. I can't necessarily, it's a show. You want to be entertaining. From what I understand, they get paid per show. I don't know if that's true or not, but they get paid per episode. Okay. So if you're on there for a long time, you might get more money, more residuals. I don't know. So that's why everybody want to get to the end, because they get that scratch. So
Gotcha.
yeah, that's the ultimate
That
goal
makes
for
sense.
everybody, is to get that money.
That makes sense. Okay, but I want to back up a little bit.
Okay.
A couple of things you said
All right.
about Momine,
All right.
okay? And they kind of hit home, I ain't even gonna lie.
Okay.
So on the her lacking affection. So you said that she has nothing to offer, right? So I want to dig into what what would she have done differently to show that she's offering, like offering, what should she be offering? So that's one. I agree with you first. I do agree with you about her not being affectionate, because the kiss did look weird.
Yeah,
It
it
was
did.
just like, okay, but I was just like, maybe it's because their first kiss. What, I don't know.
Right.
Um, but I think the shopping around, like, okay, try this one on, and it doesn't work, put it back. I think we all do that, right? Um,
Yeah, but she's really in a, she'll try a man on for a while, and like, just like Walter, like, she walked away and she was done with him, and she pretty much threw him under the bus. That's her mentality. If you don't fit in her life, she will put you back on the rack and she will walk away. She did that with Walter. She did that with a couple of guys, but what the problem is, she's not offering any. She ain't. I mean, can you think of anything that she said that she would offer a guy? Like, let's take Aisha for instance, right? Aisha was like, I get down in the kitchen and I do this, that, and the third, and love those massages, and I can do this, I can be that for you. You don't hear none of that from Momine.
okay.
Momine don't say, she don't say what she could do. She don't say, like, I'm not saying that she should, advertise everything, but what is the man getting out of it? If he can't even get basic attention and affection, then and definitely, ain't no, deep intimacy going down. You ain't even told. You said you can't even cook. I don't think she can cook, and I think she admitted to that when she was coming down the stair. So she can't cook. She can't, like, you have nothing to offer me, and I'm sorry. Like, that's why I don't really blame Frank too much, because when I sat and I thought about it, I said, well, what is Momine really offering, other than she's a cool chick. She could be
Okay.
a good friend, but if you talking about
So
a forever wife, no, you gotta
so
bring
what
it.
she was lacking was the affection.
Everything. She was lacking everything
Everything.
but a great personality. I think Momine has a
Wow.
great personality, but she
Okay.
is not a white. Look, it's too much back. You got to even deal with her family and her father and her different culture and all of this stuff. You got to deal with all. It's too much, and you get what? And you get what? She can't even
You
burn
get an
toast for
outbreak
you.
case.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, she can't, and no, the affection is not there. The kid, like, I don't blame Frank. He said, even the hand, like, she didn't even really feel comfortable holding his hand. That's what he was feeling.
Okay. So
And you
what
even said the kiss looked fake.
it just looked
It just looked,
weird.
it just looked weird and
It
awkward, right?
did. It did. It looked
So
weird.
what is a man to work with? You know?
Okay. And that's something you can work on those things. So they could work on affection together if a person is lacking either the man or the woman, right?
Yeah, they could
If
work
there's a
around that.
connection there, you can work on that. And then as far as being a a caretaker, a caregiver for her man. Is that what you're talking about with the cooking and the massages and
Yeah. Just someone who he can, like, I don't even know if they can really laugh. Like, him and Sydney can laugh together. They had a chemistry that was almost the same. They have that, but Moming is very like conservative in her ways, and she's very uh, you know, she's conservative, he's liberal, he's more liberal, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
so you talking about, like you said, you can work on a affection. Okay, yeah, okay, we working on an affection, but guess what? You're gonna expect me to still do all the stuff you want me to do. Take you
Mhm.
shopping, go to, that's it. Like, well, can we work on that too? Maybe I ain't ready for, to do all of those things. And it just seems a little lopsided,
Okay.
from a male perspective, on the give and take. Like, you have to give a lot to be with Mo Ming, and she's practically offering you wait and see. And that's not going to work with American men. She needs an arranged marriage. Go back to Ghana, find you a Ghanaian man, and have him give up the cows and the goats or whatever. I mean, however y'all do it.
Okay.
And then, because in that culture, dating is not really a thing. It's not as big a deal as it is here in America. Okay, what
Mhm.
if you like somebody, you say, okay, yeah, I want her, I'm gonna marry her. What we got to do, you sit down and you talk with the father, and you hash out a deal. Okay, look, I got this, I got that. You bargain, just like it's a car. This just is what it is. So so the husband and the father come up to a deal. Bam, okay, 10,000 racks, let's do it. um and you
All right,
say,
I remember
okay.
you explained all of that. Okay. So I get what you're saying.
You just gotta,
That
yeah, she needed an arranged marriage, but she's not built for this culture, because she's not willing to give more of herself. And the problem is, she is too quick to walk away. So you want me to invest all this time and energy, and you are a walk away queen. Like, why would I waste my time like that? You know what I mean? So I don't blame Frank. Yeah, so,
so yeah,
but
okay,
he
so
was wrong. He was wrong for leading her on, though,
he was
and he was
wrong.
wrong for just kind of taking her through the paces. He should have been more honest, and frankly, he should have been asking more from her, and kind of putting her on task a little bit. So,
Um, so like I said, you're definitely hitting home with
okay,
your assessment of
okay,
Moming.
okay, okay.
um, but I get it. I appreciate that perspective. It gives me a lot to think about.
So you got some questions, or?
Well, no. So my questions were, when you were saying she has nothing to offer, like what
Uh-huh.
would a guy be looking for her to offer? And some of the things I wrote down was like affection, someone that brings fun, someone that cherishes him. It's a
Mm-hmm.
caregiver, caretaker, for him. Um, and I think I also hear men say a lot that they want the woman to be like a source of peace, um,
Yeah,
in their life. But
definitely.
so, and I guess if it's a woman that's coming with a lot of not necessarily demands, but standards or requirements, then she should also be giving at that same level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It can't be so lopsided and one-sided. I mean, we got to consider the man's time too,
Right.
and what he wants and what he's looking for out of this situation. It should be a give and take. It's reciprocity. You know what I mean? So let's reciprocate and give and take. To me, those are the best relationships, when you give and you take, and it's a equal exchange. And it ain't gonna be equal all the time, and that's
Right.
okay.
Right.
um some might give more than others, the other might give more than the other some
Right.
other time, but
And
it
what
has
is
to be something.
it? Yeah. So I
Yeah,
completely agree.
yeah.
Um, what who should start off with the giving, or it doesn't matter.
um well, first of all, they both should be giving
Right.
from day one. um and it don't necessarily need to be something deep as, intimacy or whatever. It
Right,
could
right,
be
right.
just, okay, yeah, I'll meet you halfway, or I'll you know, there's a lot of ways to reciprocate. You know, some women are more traditional. They like the men to pay for all the meals. Some women like to, you know, pay half, at least half of some of the meals, or they go out, or you know, on a date, or they'll go a couple different places, and the man might pick up two of the places and the lady pick up the last one, whatever the case may be. There's many different ways to
Right.
give and take. You know, it's just that men need to feel like uh we have a partner, because a lot of times men are afraid of being used. Okay, and that's just a reality of being a man, and a lot of times we do end up falling into that category of being used. And this is kind of off the topic, but it kind of relates a little bit. I don't know if everybody know, but Drake is being sued.
Mm-mm.
Drake is being sued because he was intimate with this one lady. He used protection. He put it in the garbage. She went in the garbage, pulled it out, and put it inside of her.
And
And
she's
he put hot sauce in the condo. So when she put it in there, her, you know, her place was on fire. So she's suing him for putting hot sauce in the condo. And this is what I mean by men on high alert by being used, because it seems like there a lot of times there's a come up. So a man needs to see a little reciprocity in the situation, so we don't feel like we're, you know, in this for the wrong reasons or whatever the case may be. Um, and that pretty much just goes for every man. We just want to see you put just as much effort as you want us to put in, you know. And that's just from a guy's perspective. You know, I know some ladies might feel, oh well, no, the man got to do everything. Well, good luck with that. You know what I
right.
mean? But if you have them for, you ain't gonna keep them. If you have that
Yeah.
mentality,
Yeah, no. No, that's not fair. That's
yeah.
that's not fair.
Crazy
At
story
all.
with Drake, right?
That's insane. And now she's suing
So
him.
she couldn't sue him for, you know, getting pregnant and child support, so she's just gonna sue him for putting hot sauce in the condom. It's just
Mm,
ridiculousness.
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Oh wow.
But yeah.
No, I hadn't heard that one. Mm-mm. But yep, that is an
Yeah. So let me
interesting.
go to the next ones here.
Okay.
Uh who is it? I'll start with Naim and Zadia.
Zadia. Okay.
Um Naim, I just think that you know, he had his marching orders really to get her back, just like Corn did. See, these are two controlling women that these guys are with.
Mm-hmm.
Zadia and Camille are not much different
At all.
at all.
Yeah.
They're not much different at all. And they have to be in a position of controlling their men. So so all those, and they got those guys
Yeah.
with them to carry out their orders.
Absolutely.
Now I think Naeem is still a good guy. I think he was just doing what his boss told him to do. You know, I think Corn was doing what his boss told him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And those are guys that, you know, like, you know, he'll go home with they'll go home with their ladies, and they'll get patted on the back or on the head or whatever, and, you know, told that they did a good job, and that, you know, and that's what they want. They want that acceptance from their ladies, you
Okay.
know. um some might say he was out of order the way he was talking, and I'm like this is a reunion. Everybody is free to express how they feel on whatever subject. I mean, that's what the reunion is for. Is for everybody to get everything off their chest. Um, some of the ladies were saying that some of the men should have checked them or whatever. And I was watching the episode, on that other channel, and they were saying, they were kind of split actually. But my whole thing is this: if women don't really need a whole lot of defending verbally, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. I mean, women can talk better than men.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't feel like it was necessary to try and check him from saying what he had to say or whatever. He a grown ass man, and everybody else get to express themselves. He gonna express himself. Now, if he would have did something physical, I would have knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, and I know it wasn't gonna get to that point where he was just gonna get physical with some of the ladies, but a lot of them felt a little threatened, and like I was telling you, Stacy on that other show, she felt a little threatened. Sydney felt a little threatened. This, that, and the third. I'm like, look, I mean, let the man express himself. Ain't nobody, putting a muzzle on y'all, so
Right.
don't try to put a muzzle on him. But I felt like if it got to any kind of physicality, then the men would have checked him. I have no
Right.
doubt about that.
Right.
But he just following his orders, his boss's orders, Zadia,
Right.
and
Right.
Corn is doing the same thing. I think they both in, I would say they both in the sunken place. But the ladies, they're they're just controlling women. It just is what it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Right. And a
So
predator knows its prey. And so,
they the
and
predator
that
knows they prey.
definitely would not have worked with Dante.
Yeah, because let me tell you, Naim, you wasn't even the first choice. If we
Exactly.
keeping it hot, you
Yeah,
wasn't even the first choice, bruh.
exactly.
So just remember that. So she is liable to bounce on you at any time. So it's
Yeah.
good. So I was well, I wouldn't say Camille is. I think Camille. The only thing that will make Camille leave is boredom. When she get bored of Corn, then she'll leave.
Yeah.
But Zadia would bounce on you if she found another guy. So
Yeah. Because she was not even going to choose him, period.
exactly.
But and I don't know, like you said, maybe that is in his blind spot because I don't know why that isn't what she came back to say to him to make him think like, oh, okay, why he can just brush that off and cut
Yeah,
from her like that.
yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just it's like I say. Some guys have that blind spot with women. Some women have that blind spot with certain guys.
Right.
It's like they'll get with a dude, a thug or whatever. Be like, people be like, why are you with him and all this other stuff? And I love him or this, that, and the third. So
Right.
some people have blind spots for certain type of people. It just is what it is, and those guys got it. So let me move on to Sabrina. Sabrina
Mm-hmm.
was charged up. She was
She was.
charged up this
She was.
episode. And now let me tell you, I'm gonna put the pseudo psychiatrist hat on again. And I could be wrong, but this is how I dissected that situation. All
Okay.
right. Um Now let's take Walter. Walter, he was married, right?
Right.
His wife died, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was around Sabrina age, right?
Mm-hmm.
He only date young women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that Walter is not over his ex-wife. I think Sabrina reminds him of his ex-wife. I think he's scared to get close to older women because he don't want them to die on him.
Now the wife died when she was younger.
Yeah, but like he said, if she was alive, she would have
She
been
would be
about
Sabrina's
Sabrina's
second.
age.
Okay. So the fact, okay, that they had that connection when she was younger, and so he's still kind of wanting to connect women with women that are around that same age. She wasn't.
Yeah, either he's not wanting to date older women because he don't want them to die on him, or he wants to go back to date women that were her age before
Hmm.
she passed. So that's why he dates younger women. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Now, Walter is a shy guy. I think he's a shy guy. I think he's an introverted type of guy. You know, I think he actually genuinely liked Sabrina, and I think he
Mhm.
would have um you know, walked away with her in the sunset, and they would have just had a, you know, or at least ended the show that way. But I think that the guy needs more couch time with a psychiatrist. I don't think that
Okay.
he's all the way over that situation with his ex-wife. I think that's why he has that wall up against with Sabrina, because I do believe her when she say that he wasn't calling as much and this, that, and the third. And she said, you know, I know how. Now, let me tell you this too. Um, that's all relative.
Right.
And when she say, oh, well, you wasn't calling me enough. I mean, we seen Walter's face, right? He was like, what?
Right.
It's all relative. Like to him, he was calling a lot. And
Right.
to her, it wasn't enough. So, you know, it depends on who you ask. I'm sure if you ask him, he'd be like, she crazy. I was calling her a lot of the time. You know,
Right.
I'm not going to argue with her on camera and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? If she felt that way, she felt that way. But I felt like I was called, and she did acknowledge you was calling me consistently for a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So he was getting to that point where he was calling enough, and it still wasn't good enough for her. So I don't know if you know, a part of me feels like she was really just doing it for the gram or whatever. But I think it was some truth to what she was saying. Now, here's where I got Sabrina back. Walter wasn't showing her no affection.
Right.
If you aren't showing a person any kind of affection, then, you know, as far, I don't care if it's man or woman, yeah, they, you know, they got a right to say, okay, this ain't working, because, you know, that's important. Like that's a love language for a lot of people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, Physical touch, you know, uh, is a lot of people, and it seems as though that was Sabrina's.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta know what the love language is of your mate, and you gotta figure out if you can come with that, because uh, that's how they recognize love. Some people, it's physical touch, it's, you know, gift giving, it's acts of service. You know,
Right.
there's a lot of them.
Right. And I think with Sabrina and Walter, it was that so like she said, she's had experiences from men. And I know you said that these might have been like kind of bottom shelf men who were interested in her and were pursuing her, giving her attention, this and that. So she's used to that. She knows what that feels like. So when you go from calling me consistently for a week and a half to now I don't really hear from you the way you started, it would be different if throughout the whole thing it was just kind of like you don't really call me, but you started out calling me consistently, then you dropped off and you're not showing me affection. Like to me, if they were really into each other, those are just conversations.
Right,
Let's talk more, let's touch more.
right, right,
Those are
right.
just conversations. But I
And that's why I kind of I got to knock Sabrina, because you know, she didn't really, she might have told, like, I ain't gonna front, she did make that known that that was
it
something that
did.
she wanted that
Yes.
whole time. I mean, she even went to his family and was like, so tell me, what's Walter really like? Is he a affectionate guy?
Yeah.
That was her first question.
Right.
You know, so and his sister or whatever was like, yeah, he's affectionate. She was like, really? I mean, you can hear her voice drop too, like,
Right.
really?
Right.
I
Right.
was like, yeah, I mean, she did ask about that. I just think she needs a guy who's um, a little more extroverted. You know what I mean? With all of that stuff. Walter is an introverted guy, and I bet you he's like that with all of them. Now he might, when he get comfortable with you, he might, come out of his shell a lot more. You know what I mean? But and he tends to pick extroverted women, like his ex with the long fingernails. She definitely looked like she was extroverted chick, right? So he needs that, and I think Sabrina needs that. I think they're probably a little too much alike, actually.
Right. They need the same things. And
they need the same type of person,
giving the
and
things that they want.
Because one thing about Sabrina is she didn't really initiate none of that stuff either. You know what I mean? If affection, like, look, she needs to take lessons from Sydney, okay? Because Sydney ain't got no problems, getting the affection she wants. She goes after it. I mean, we've all seen it on camera. She'll show up at
Phil, but not with Frank.
She did, she did with Phil. I think she friend zoned. She was never into Frank.
No.
As far as I'm concerned, she was like, that was all an act. Far, like, okay, so let me get to Sydney and Phil here. Sydney wasn't really into Frank. Like, she already knew Frank.
Right.
Now, the only thing is, she needed an anchor. She needed an anchor to keep her in the house.
Right.
So she latched on to Frank.
Right.
Because she knew him. So let me fake the funk until I find the guy I really want.
Right.
Okay. So and Frank was the beneficiary of that. He got a little cuddle times with her or whatever, but she wouldn't give it up too much. You remember they was at the pool?
Yeah.
And he was like, give me a kiss or whatever. And she was like, yeah. She didn't want that. She didn't want, especially with Phil there, she didn't want to do all that.
Right.
So, Frank was her anchor to stay in the house. And all the while she was looking for another guy. That was probably the only thing that I would say Sydney did wrong, but I can't really say she did it wrong because it bought her time to find Phil.
Right.
It bought her time to find Phil. So, for that reason, I can't really knock it. It's almost part of the game type of situation.
That's how the show is built.
Now, but the thing is, Frank did want Sydney, I think. He did want Sydney. He wanted to rock out with her and just, ride off into the sunset. But he was getting the vibes. He was getting the vibes from her and from what I understand, somebody told I think I read somewhere, even online or something, that the producers told Frank she wasn't gonna pick him.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay. So he need to hitch his wagon to somebody else.
Somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that makes sense because that, like I said, the Momine stuff just kind of came out of the blue.
And
so
yeah. So if you want to get to the end, you're gonna have to ride this Momine thing out, because she I don't think she's gonna pick you, bro.
Right. And ain't nobody gonna be picking her, so y'all can just pick each other. Yeah.
Right. So
pick Sabrina.
But Sydney with Phil, I think that's a good couple. It's not much, like I said, not much not to like about Sydney. She's dope. Phil's a good guy. And I hope they go a long time. So don't really have anything perplexing or anything to say about them. So Aisha, it's funny. Aisha was like, she had the pseudo psychiatrist hat on.
Yes, she did.
The whole,
Aisha
she was giving everybody advice, like,
yes, she was.
You should do this, you should do that. She, I found that a little funny. And this is gonna sound, she actually looked the worst.
Yeah.
She actually looked the worst on the, like, she went back to the blonde wig, and then she, her makeup wasn't
for me.
Yeah.
And I've seen some pictures of Aisha with like a different hair color and a different wig. Oh my God. Just
night and day.
This I don't know what she's trying to try something new, and she just hasn't found that one that
Yeah.
works for her quite yet, but
Mm-mm.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah. So, but it's funny how she was like, she got Dante, so now she got advice for everybody now.
Exactly.
I
Like I
think
know how to
I
do
just
this.
find that hilarious. Like, okay.
Right, right,
And it's funny because when she was arguing with, or she seen a clip of Zadia or whatever, and Zadia, I think she had her face in Dante. Oh no, no, that was at the table or whatever, and they said something about. Oh yeah, you remember Zadia said that at the dinner table, at that eruption dinner table, when she
right. With
said, yeah, because
Camille.
she's always talking outside of her neck,
Oh
something
yeah.
like that. And Aisha seen that clip, and she was like, yeah, and I got your man too. She said something like that. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And I was
indeed.
like, oh, shots fired. Shots
Yeah.
fired.
But I
Yeah.
feel like Zadia met her match with Sabrina. Like Sabrina had that girl running off the stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, where's all that energy, all that, I'll get in your face and,
With Sabrina?
yeah, yeah, she wasn't.
Yeah.
She didn't want
Yeah.
that smoke at all.
Yeah. I looked online. I seen something about her online. And that necklace she wore to that dinner with Walter, that like she looked like Wonder Woman or looked like an
Hmm.
Egyptian queen. Like it was a silver necklace. So
Yeah.
she's selling that online now. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, go to Sabrina someone. I ain't gonna advertise it,
Got you.
but it almost kind of made me feel like, did she do this for marketing? I can't knock
You
the
just
hustle.
never know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna knock the hustle, but it's like, I don't know. That seems a little, I don't know, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, she was turned up. She was turned up the whole episode. And then Aisha became a pseudo psychiatrist
You
too.
did.
And then, who else am I missing?
Um, well, what did you think about Camille and her trying to deny that she said I'll F y'all up?
Yeah, look, they showed a clip of her talking about her three different personalities. I was just
Yeah.
cracking up. Like, I was like, look, that's if there is ever a red flag, Corn.
Right.
Okay, this woman
Right.
admitted she got three different personalities, man. So, I don't know what else you need to see at this point.
Right. Right.
But I just thought that was her. Look, she comes off as a bit narcissistic to me.
Hmm.
Okay, and or no, maybe even a sociopath. You know,
Mm.
um, yeah, maybe even a sociopath. I'm not claiming that is. This is just a
Yeah.
fake psychiatrist hat I got on. It's not a real one. Y'all calm down.
Right.
But it just seems like that because people who lie about stuff like that, they don't never want to get caught looking bad. You know what I mean? It's always
Right.
everybody else's fault.
Yeah. They're always the victim.
Yeah, always the victim, always you misunderstood me, but they won't have no problem blaming you for something if you do
Mhm.
something wrong.
Very
See?
narcissistic.
Yeah. So I just seen some signs of mental illness. I ain't gonna front.
Hmm.
But that's pretty much what I think about Camille. I think she needs to come to terms with. The funny part is I think she already came to terms with it. I just not sure if she's getting help for it. She says she on meds and everything.
Right.
So continue to take your meds.
Continue, please. Yes.
Please don't stop taking those meds.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that is a dangerous situation to get in a relationship with, Corn. I'm just telling you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And you think she told him to wear those golds? Like, what was that all about?
I don't think she did, but he wanted to rock those with his his orange fit, and
I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm gonna leave him alone. Let that man wear what he want to
yeah,
wear.
yeah.
But yeah, so part two, we should be getting into Corey.
Yeah, Corey and Courtney too. Courtney has some
Courtney.
words to say too.
Yeah. That whole thing.
She's
and then
a
it looked
trip.
like Tasia is revealing some new information that we didn't know about.
What did she say?
Um, she was saying in the preview that, she was like, nobody else knew that I was also a part of this triangle. And then they were like, Corey, was Tasia a part of this triangle? And then she was like, just answer them, yes or no. So
Mm,
something that has to do
I
with
didn't see that.
Corey.
I was thinking the triangle was her, Phil, and Shiloh.
Right. It was with it was they were talking to Corey.
Hmm.
Like it was
Interesting.
probably her, and yeah,
Oh, it might have been after the show. It might have been after the show.
possibly.
Yeah, yeah. Like, let me touch on that too. Do you, are you good on time or
Mhm.
okay? Corey, to me, I think the guy is I think he knows he's awkward. I think he knows he's uh got some social challenges. And I think you're gonna probably see him beat up on himself for being such a F boy.
Mm,
That's going to be my guess for next episode. I could be wrong,
yeah.
but I think that he's going to really kind of, because he know he's going to do some things wrong. Like, if you said something about this triangle, I didn't know about this triangle before, but he probably tried the little triangle offense, offset, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and off the show, and he got caught up in it again, and now
Right.
he's going to have to repent for it. You're probably going to see him repent for that. So
Hmm.
that's just a guess I have of that. So I wonder, I do wonder if he, because I tried to predict that him and Courtney was going to get back together. I wonder if she was the other part of the triangle, him, her, and
Hmm.
Courtney.
Yeah. And yeah,
So that'll be interesting.
it is possible.
Yeah. There was somebody else I want to touch on too. One of the ladies. Um,
Mhm.
I
Carrie?
have who?
Carrie?
Carrie. No, I touch on
Olivia?
her. That was cool of her to really,
Yeah.
not hold a grudge against Tyrone, and that was cool of Tyrone to express himself too. So I thought that was dope. That was a cool moment in the
Yeah.
show. Carrie does seem like a pretty cool chick.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think she'll end up being a good woman, possibly wife to a good man. She just got to find the right man. He wasn't on
Yeah.
that show,
Yeah. That's all it was.
Yeah, yeah. Her guy is probably a little more laid back, a little more modest, and not one of those dudes. But yeah,
Yeah.
she'll make a good woman to somebody. To see, she said her mother was in the hospital.
Mom was in the hospital.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. And
yeah.
at the
So
moment that she walked off, like I was so with her. Like it was
yeah,
just a
yeah.
delusional, ratchet mess.
Tasia has that talent of always just garnering all everybody, like they always garner around her, and oh, it's
Yeah.
gonna be okay. Like,
Yeah.
if you her man, you're gonna have to do that too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a whole lot of consoling Tasia,
Yeah.
because what I found out about Tasia is she's a good woman, but she emotionally she could be exhausted.
She's
She
gonna
could be
be very,
exhausted.
that's what I was gonna say,
Yeah,
very
yeah,
draining and exhausting.
yeah. She
Yeah.
can be exhausting emotionally, because
Hmm.
it's always something with her, and she's horrible at hiding her emotions and
Oh
feelings,
yeah.
and that can be draining to a guy, because you always, oh, to see it, it's gonna be
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so but I wish her the best. um I think I got pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think you
yeah.
said that to everybody.
So yeah, we'll see how next episode goes. Got anything you want to add to it?
No, I know that they said the Miami season is supposed to be starting the end of this month.
Well, no, it's going to be DC again.
You know what? I did
Yeah,
that again. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be
So
DC
they
again.
changed it.
No, they probably shooting Miami now, but they already recorded
They're
the
gonna.
second DC,
Okay.
because I guess they hit every city twice.
Okay.
Atlanta, Houston, and now DC.
Oh Lordy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So no, season number 6.
Season number 6. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. I know some people from DC. They said they ain't had no real locals on this first episode.
Right, right.
So hopefully on the second DC they got some locals
Some
to,
actual
get
locals.
on there. Yeah, so that should be pretty interesting. I already seen some of the cast members too.
Yeah,
Do you see the
yeah.
pictures?
You sent it to
Yeah,
me. I got yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that should be interesting. So
Should be
we'll
interesting.
check that out, and
Yep,
we'll keep it going. As long as y'all want to see it, we'll keep it going.
yep.
So thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me as always.
always. And you want to shout out your book?
I do.
Okay. Y'all didn't hear that. Y'all didn't see that.
Did not
Okay.
hear that at all.
Yeah.
Yes. So the book is still on sale at my website, uncoveringyourtruth.com, or you can purchase it from Amazon. Again, search for Uncovering Your Truth. Um, and I actually got some feedback from guys who are saying that they have been enjoying the book. So it is
Oh,
definitely for men, women, and even preteens, like
okay.
preteens, junior high, high school girls. So definitely go grab your copy.
Yes. Support. And
Yeah,
also go to blackmanrankings.com, get some t-shirts and some more stuff that's going to be coming out. And
yeah.
we would appreciate that. So thanks for joining us. And we will see y'all on the second reunion. And then,
Part two.
yeah, and then the next DC is going to come out, I think, on the 28th
Yeah,
of January. So
yeah.
like right back to back. So
Yes,
this
yes.
should be interesting. All right. Well, we'll see y'all in the next one. Hit the like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk
Yes.
to y'all in the next one. Peace.
Bye.